A massive explosion rips through the heart of India's capital during rush hour. At first, it looks like a classic terror attack, but as the evidence starts to pile up, the story gets way more complicated, and honestly, maybe even more chilling. We're going to break down exactly what happened and what it all means.
All right, so let's set the scene. It's a Monday evening in Old Delhi. You know how it is. The streets are packed, traffic is crawling along, and right near the historic Red Fort, everything is just normal.
And then, in a split second, that normal evening is just gone, shattered. Right at a traffic light near the Red Fort metro station, a car explodes, a massive, terrifying fireball that just engulfs everything around it. So right away, everyone's thinking the same thing: terrorism. It has to be. But as the investigators start swarming the scene, one question keeps popping up, and it just doesn't make sense. Why here? At a totally random traffic light? And that one question starts to point towards a crazy theory, that the attack everyone just saw wasn't the attack that was actually planned. Okay, so let's really dive into what we know. What happened in those first few chaotic moments right after the explosion? Let's look at the facts. And when you look at the raw numbers, they are just devastating. It happened around 7 p.m. and it came from a Hyundai i20. The human cost was just awful. Initial reports say up to 13 people were killed, with over 20 injured, and more than 20 other vehicles were just swallowed by the flames. But here's the part that's truly wild: the speed of it all. You can see it on the CCTV footage. The car pulls up to the red light, and just 7 seconds later, it detonates. It was so sudden, so violent, and just horrifically destructive.
13. That number just hits you, doesn't it? 13 lives, gone in the blink of an eye. 13 families just completely torn apart. The whole city was in shock, just asking one question over and over again: who did this?
So once the scene is secured, the hunt is on. A massive investigation spins up with multiple agencies working together. The clock is ticking to figure out who was behind this, how they did it, and the biggest question of all: why? And listen, this wasn't just handed over to the local cops. No way. They called in the heavy hitters right from the start: the elite NSG commandos, the NIA, which is India's top counter-terror agency, plus all the specialized forensic experts. When you see that kind of lineup, you know exactly how serious this is. The forensics team gets to work, and pretty quickly, they get an ID on the explosive material. It's something called ANFO. Now, what's ANFO? Basically, it's ammonium nitrate fuel oil. It's a go-to for improvised bombs because, and this is the scary part, the ingredients aren't that hard to get. It's a classic signature of a planned terror attack. And it wasn't long before the investigation got its first big lead: a name. Their focus is on a man, Dr. Mohammed Omar. The authorities are saying he has alleged connections to the notorious terror group Jaish-e-Mohammed. Right now, they're running DNA tests on remains from the blast to confirm if he was the one in the car. All right, so you've got a suspect, a known terror group, a bomb. It feels pretty straightforward, right? Well, this is where the whole story flips on its head, because the leading theory from investigators is that this entire horrific event was actually a mistake. And it all comes back to that one question that just wouldn't go away for investigators: why a traffic light? I mean, think about it. Terror attacks are symbolic. They hit landmarks, government buildings, major train stations, places where they can create maximum fear. A traffic signal just doesn't fit the pattern at all. So what was really going on? And this is the key to the whole puzzle. Right before the blast in Delhi, authorities pulled off a huge raid in the nearby city of Faridabad. They arrested a bunch of people they believe are part of the same terror cell. And get this, they seized almost 3,000 kilograms of explosives. You see the crazy contrast here, right? On one side, you've got a massive, carefully planned operation in the works, and on the other, you have this chaotic, premature explosion. It all seems to point to one word: panic. The leading theory is that the blast was an accident. The operative in Delhi heard his buddies in Faridabad got busted, and the main stash of explosives was gone. He must have panicked, mishandled the device he had, and boom, it detonated long before it was ever supposed to. So while this theory is taking shape, the entire nation is just reeling. The blast sent these ripples of grief, anger, and fear all across India, and it drew condemnation from all around the world. The response from the top was exactly what you'd expect: swift and strong. Prime Minister Narendra Modi came out and promised, point blank, that the people responsible for this heinous attack would not be spared, really channeling the outrage of the entire country. And you really saw that reaction play out everywhere. You had vigils and candlelight marches from regular citizens expressing their grief. You had strong condemnation from every political party. Condolences poured in from the US, the UK, and other nations. And of course, there were immediate calls to ramp up security. So, where does all this leave us? You've got a terror cell that's been hit hard, but maybe not totally dismantled. And now the city, and really the whole country, is on high alert. So here's the quick rundown of where things stand. Security has been ramped up to the max all across the capital region. The National Investigation Agency is digging deep, trying to uncover the full extent of this terror network. And the forensic work continues, trying to officially identify all the victims. But here's the most chilling part of this whole thing. Given that massive quantity of explosives seized in Faridabad, investigators believe this car bomb was just one small piece of a much bigger plot. They think it was all building towards a huge attack, possibly on a symbolic day like Republic Day, to cause maximum devastation. So, while the immediate tragedy is contained, it leaves us all with this deeply unsettling question. The blast at the Red Fort was horrific, but it might have been an accident that inadvertently saved the city from something far, far worse. As the investigation continues, the whole country is left wondering, what else did they have in store for us?